Hey YouTube, it's Urgo. So there's probably not too many days in your own history that you can remember precisely where you were and what you were doing. At least not if you're not doing a YouTube orbit, that is. But even holidays, you probably can't even remember which ones specifically each year you did what. Maybe you can, maybe not, but it's usually only really big events that you can remember exactly where you were and what happened. And for me, 15 years ago to this day, that was exactly the case. June 23rd, 1995, I was at a friend's house, one whose wedding actually I just attended a couple of months ago. This was way before the widespread introduction of the internet, but my friends and I were early adopters, and on this day I was actually just getting ready to sign up for a new online game. I had already been on the internet for probably about a year by this time, but whenever I needed a name I had just used my real name. When signing up for a game though, using your real name is not exactly an option, particularly the game I was signing up for, which was sort of a text-only version of games like World of Warcraft, except for even more in-depth. The game was called Elendor. It was a mosh based off of Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. So there I was, 14 years old, sitting at my friend's house at his computer, and while these weren't my exact words, to quote the movie Hackers, I said something similar to this: "I need a handle, man. I mean, I don't have an identity until I have a handle." So about a half an hour of brainstorming later, the name that I eventually settled upon was the name Urgo. A name that I thought pretty fitting for an Uruk-hai character that would live in Mordor of Middle-earth. Never did I think that 15 years later, more than half my life now, I'd still be using the name Urgo everywhere. So now the story behind the number 6667, why I use it at the end of Urgo. Originally I planned, just to use the name Urgo everywhere, but unfortunately, that just isn't possible. A lot of places have restrictions on how many characters a name can be, and 4 characters just is too short, or for some reason someone else had registered the name. Anyway, the first time that this happened to me was with AOL Instant Messenger, probably around 96, 97. And at that time, I was about 16 years old, and I thought it would be cool to use 666 at the end of Urgo. Fast forward a couple of years, I finally got sick of people just attaching 666, meaning I was a devil worshiper or something like that. And I decided that adding a 7 at the end would actually make it even more significant. 6667 is the port that IRC uses to communicate. IRC is one of the first chat services on the internet relay chat, and it's actually still used to this day, very popular. For example, whenever you're on Ustream, whether you know it or not, you're actually using IRC. That's what they use as a backend for the chat. Anyway, so yeah, that's why I added on the 6667, and I use it as a fallback whenever I can't use Urgo. So for YouTube, for example, they wouldn't let me use Urgo, so Urgo 6667 it is. So that's pretty much the story of Urgo. Today is my 15th birthday, and I wanted to thank you guys all for celebrating with me here. What about you? What's your story? Have you used the same username since you first started using it, however far back that was, or have you swapped it around to a different one? I'd really love to hear your story in the comments below, or leave it as a video response. That would be even better. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all again tomorrow on another YouTube Orbit.